Boys, I have gotten enough questions about this one particular thing over at my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/BigDucks, which you should go follow, by the way, about what is this item and how do you use it? How do you make the most money off of it? What even is it? That I decided that I would make a video explaining exactly that. Now you probably, if you do watch my streams, have seen me use this pretty consistently. I always keep a stack of them on me in my inventory when I'm running through normal maps because I have all the essence nodes. And there is a ton of potential money that you can make by just keeping these on you and using them occasionally. Also, there are a couple extra little things that you can do to make a ton more money off of this particular item. And remember boys, if these videos are helping you out or you're enjoying them, make sure to give them a like. Also consider subscribing, hit the little notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos, and without further ado, let's get into it. And the item that I'm talking about is the Remnant of Corruption. A lot of people know how essences work, but it seems that not that many people know how Remnant of Corruption works, and also what is the best way to make use of it. Now, if you haven't been around since Essence League, I don't blame you, but Remnant of Corruption is the one and only way to naturally obtain the 4 corrupted essences up here at the top of the list. Now, there are 4 of these: Insanity, Horror, Delirium, and Hysteria. I don't have any Hysterias at the moment, but the way that you actually obtain these 4 essences is you use the Remnants of Corruption on these purple essences when you find them in a map. However, that is not the only way that we can use these. One thing that most people know about essences is that selling them in bulk and selling a whole bunch of these makes you quite a bit of money. However, the very, very high tier essences tend to sell for quite a bit more. The problem is that they don't always sell for 3 times the amount of what the Shrieking ones do. So if you took 3 Shrieking essences and you upgraded them into a Deafening, it's not guaranteed that you're going to make additional money. So most of the time people sell Shrieking in bulk. However, there is a way to get Deafening essences normally because the Remnants of Corruption also have a chance to just up tier all of the essences that you find by 1. So normally when you're in a map, the highest that you're going to be able to find are Shrieking essences. The Deafening essences don't show up naturally, so you really are only going to find Shriekings. But if you want to be able to get these Deafening essences, you are going to have to start using these Remnants of Corruption. So if you do have all the essence nodes on the tree, which I suggest that if you're just randomly clearing maps, the essence nodes are pretty good, there is this one node called Crystal Lattice. Imprisoned monsters in areas have a 15% chance to have 3 additional essences. You might, every once in a while, notice that one of those mobs shows up with like 7 separate essences and a bunch of them are really high tier. Well, you should probably be using a Remnant of Corruption on that. It can up tier them 1 higher and just get you a ton of better essences. These Remnant of Corruptions, I am overwhelmed with them. I have so many I don't know what to do with them. I spend them as often as I can, and I always seem to have more. So you really should be using these. I'm going to go jump into a map. I'll cut to exactly when I find one of these essences so I can give you an idea, and then we'll talk a little bit more how you can make even more money off of these top tier ones. Now, one thing is that it is very important that you do have this Crystal Resonance node, which makes it so that corrupting imprisoned monsters in areas cannot release them. But the idea here is that when you do find a essence mob that has a ton of essences on it, I'm talking like 4 or more most of the time, you can, all right, let me get rid of these real quick, 1 second. Getting on my nerves, these mobs here. So when you do find one of these mobs that has at least a couple Shrieking essences on it, maybe, you know, 4 plus, whatever it might be, these kinds of mobs you do actually want to use these Remnants of Corruption on. Now this isn't going to turn into one of the high tier essences, however, on average, you are going to get Deafenings off of this. You'll see that we're now getting a Shrieking of Anger, 2 Deafenings, and then a Shrieking of Doubt. So we've gone from only a few chaos here to quite a few chaos, just off of using that one little Remnant of Corruption. One other thing to keep in mind is that when it says monsters imprisoned by a Shrieking essence in areas will be duplicated when released. So because this does have a Shrieking essence on it, you're going to get 2 of them. So this means that we get double the essences, and that is quite a bit of money. As you can see, that's a lot of really high tier essences. We just got 4 high tier Deafening essences. Now, judging by my add-on, Deafening essences of greed are worth at least 3 chaos apiece, and if you sell them in bulk, probably 4 or 5. So that's one of the ways. Now let's talk about the other one. So the next way that you are going to be making a ton of extra money with these essences is that you're looking for these purple essences here. You'll notice that this is a little purple essence like this. It has to be purple. Now, if you're colorblind or you have issues seeing purple for some reason, there's not really a ton that you can do to make it easier besides just know which essences you're looking for. You're looking for Scorn, Envy, Misery, and Dread. Those are the 4 that you're looking for. These red ones do not work, and none of the other colors work at all. It is specifically Scorn, Envy, Misery, and Dread. So what you're going to do is when you find these, you will be using one of these essences of corruption, the Remnants of Corruption. Now, it's not always going to upgrade it into one of the high tier essences. Sometimes it's just going to do one of the other random things. Like right here, it just upgraded it into a Deafening. This is not guaranteed to get one of these high tier essences. However, you should still use them every single time on these essences. Now, beyond this, there is one additional way that you can make significantly more money. All of these things together can easily double or triple the amount of money that you make from essences. If you focus on using those Remnants of Corruption on all of the big stacks of essences, as well as using them on any time you see one of the purple essence, as well as one final trick. So the idea is that you should double check to see if there's any disparity in price between the high tier essences. For example, right now, Essences of Horror are 26 chaos each, and that is per single, not per bulk. The other essences, like Insanity, is currently 12, Delirium is currently 12, and I think Hysteria is somewhere around there. What you can do is you can take some of these other essences once you get like a decent sized stack of them. I'm just going to show you this for demonstration purposes. And there is a harvest craft that changes a stack of essences into a different type of essences of the same tier. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using these change a stack of essence into a different type of essence on something like Essence of Insanity. Now the problem here is that these have to be able to drop an item. So you can hold them in your hoarder crafting bench, however you can't do this in the hideout, so I'm going to go jump into a map, find a harvest real quick so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Of note, if you do need to force a harvest, something that you can do is you can use these explorer scouting reports or any other easy scouting reports that you have until you get one of the complete a harvest missions. This is just a pretty easy way to force a harvest if you need to get into the harvest zone. So now that we are here in the actual harvest area, we can take our Essences of Insanity. Keep in mind you probably want to use a slightly larger stack like 4 or 5 before you do this, and then you do change a stack of essences into a different of the same tier. Now of note, I have one more of these, but we already have some Essences of Delirium, so let's go ahead and go grab those and combine the stack, so make it into a little bit bigger stack and have more of a chance of swapping it back into the ones that we want. So now we've got a 4 stack of these Essences of Delirium. We'll go back into here, use our other craft, and see if we can get this to go into the ones we want. And we did. That just doubled the money that we got from our big essences into Essences of Horror. So now you can take these Essences of Horror. If you sell these in bulk, you can probably sell them for 30, maybe 31 or 2 chaos per piece, and you can make a ton of extra money that way. Now, if you don't know how bulk selling works, if you don't know how to make significantly more profit off of large amounts of essences and stuff, I do suggest that you go watch my video that I've linked up in the top right corner now. It is kind of an idea on how to sell these essences in large quantities to both get more money per essence as well as to save you a ton of time, because you really shouldn't be leaving a map or stopping to sell like 1 or 2 essences. You should be selling like 10 to 15 of these at a time every single time. And that is going to be it for the video. Now I know a lot of you probably knew most of the things in here, but I did get this question often enough that I wanted to hopefully at least give you a couple little tips and tricks that maybe you didn't think about. Maybe that harvest craft is something you hadn't tried out yet, but it is pretty worth it. Hopefully this doesn't bottom out the price of the other essences or make them closer, but I mean, it is what it is, so get in on it while you still can. However, the other methods are still going to make you a ton of extra currency. Getting those deafening essences and selling them in bulk is going to get you easily double to triple the profits that you would have gotten by just grabbing the shrieking ones in the map. So remember, boys, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos, and stay safe out there in Rayclass. And I'll see you guys in the next video.